Visalus or not, is you need to find your reason why, right? The reason why you exist. What makes you tick? What makes you put your foot down on the floor in the morning? What makes you, want to do better for this society? What is your reason why? And I would encourage everybody to find it. My reason why is I had a boy. I had a son on the way, right? And I was very open-minded to find something. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew something was going to come to my life. And I'm at this charity event, and a guy shows up in the way of I love cars, so he shows up in a navy blue Bentley GT convertible. Right? Now, maybe it was the Lord talking to me, or maybe it was a $150,000 car. I don't know which one it was. But I got to know this guy, and I realized, I found out his story, and it's a lot like mine. His wife left him, and a couple years ago, he had nothing to his name, and he says, Matt, you wouldn't believe it. He goes, I'm now making residual income over $150,000 a month. I'm your man, I'm looking for you, buddy. Like I'm Clay, just mold me, whatever it takes. And he introduced me to the industry, and once again I had a reason why. And I put on the blinders, and I put one foot in front of the other out of faith, and I started driving, and I started pushing with everything I had. And I came home, and by the way, my wife was. Let me just back up a little. My wife is MBA, master's degree. Corporate America all the way, right? I have a 401k, Her voice isn't that deep. But she's like, and I've worked my way up, and, blah, if I were in there a couple more years, it's going to be vested. And I was like, what? What does vested mean? Like, I had no idea what any of this meant, but she was so, and when I came home to her with this, it was, just like somebody standing here, it was, it's one of those pyramid schemes, it's one of those things, and oh my gosh, Matt, you need to get a real job. Maybe we can get you a job here in Tulsa, I'm like, no, I believe this is something because I understand the power of leverage. I've always heard of Herbalife, I've always heard of shackling these stories, but I've never sat down and looked at network marketing. And so I jumped in on board, and and for you guys, if your wife's not on board, start making some money. She will be, okay? I promise. And so we started on this track, and before my son was born, before Brock, my son was born, I was a full-time father. And I got to walk away from my job and fire my boss, and I entered into the world of entrepreneurship. I had a reason why, right? That drove me, that pushed me to be a better person, and pushed me to be an entrepreneur, because I wanted to be there for him. And my dream has come true. My son now is 5.5 years old. I get to drive him to work. I get to drive him to school every single day since he was in elementary school. I always got to go to his little Valentine's parties and his, and all of his little Thanksgiving parties and all of his recitals. And it always amazes me when I'm there how many parents are not there. I was just my daughter now. She's 3.5. Same thing. And I was just at a Thanksgiving feast. And I'm 6'3", and I'm on one of those little chairs eating turkey, I'm just like, my knees are like up to my ears, and I'm loving it, And there's 25 kids in this class, and there's 5 parents. And one of them, I was sitting next to talking, and I thought it was the girl's mom, and it was her sister. Her mom couldn't make it. And those stories sadden me because I love what I do, but here's one thing I will tell you this industry gives you, and what Visalus will give you, it's time. You cannot put a price tag on time and what it will do for you. Yeah, the wealth's great and all the things, but time is the one commodity you can never get back as long as you live. We all have a birth date, we all have a death date, and it's the dash between what we do with our life is what matters. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would never trade what I do for a living for anything because of the time I get to spend with my kids. This is when I knew for a fact that this was a highlight. So my father, earlier I talked about him being crippled and how he used to plant his legs. And 2 years ago, Brock, I was on the phone doing a 3-way call, and I hear something, and Brock is laying under my legs playing with his Thomas the Train. And I thought to myself, my dad passed on a legacy to me that he didn't even know he was passing on. How cool is that, right? He was passing on something to me that now that I'm passing on to my kids, right, that my kids will see what it's like to have a full-time parent in their house and be able to do the things with them. That was my reason why I got into this business. And it's absolutely transformed my life, not only in our health. And, one of the reasons, just as Chris was talking about, is the same reason I'm so passionate about health. It's seeing people set free from all the stuff they're set free from that these products do. I'm not going to make medical claims up here, but it's amazing the stories that I see as I travel across the country and what these products are doing for people's lives. And one of the things I do not ever want Brock and Michaela to go through what I have to go through with my father. It is tormenting. And I will constantly put the best fuels and the best products in my body to make sure and to ensure that I will live as long as I possibly can. I have I was telling someone today, I have an M5 BMW, and I put the best fuels in that car, I put the best oils in that car, I put the best, why would you not do that to your body? It's just a piece of metal, right? Why would you not put the best products you possibly can into your body? And Visalus has that. So 2008, I get into Visalus, I got introduced, I flew up to Beverly Hills and met Nick, Ryan, and Blake, sat down, and by the way, if you guys, our CEO, Ryan Blair, has a book called Nothing to Lose, Everything to Gain. I promote it everywhere I go. It's a New York bestseller, Amazon bestseller, Barnes & Noble bestseller, and it's his life story about how he went from gang member to multi-millionaire. He's my age, he's our CEO, he's one of the #1 entrepreneurs in the country right now. I would encourage you to go buy it, it's amazing. But I sat down with these three gentlemen. You saw Nick on the screen, Nick, Ryan, and Blake, and I fell in love with them. I didn't really know too much about the company or the culture yet, but I fell in love with these guys, and I wanted to be mentored. I'm all about being mentored. I'm all about being a mentor, and I fell in love with these guys, and I jumped in Visalus, and I ran to the top. Life's good, man. I'm loving Visalus, and back then, we didn't have a challenge. You know what we sold? BMWs. I literally, this would be my pitch. So if you could get a down payment of $499 and pay $125 a month, and get a BMW, would you do it? Be like, yeah. I'm like, you're in. That was my sales pitch. People are like, what's the product? Don't worry about it. It's good for you. No wonder we tanked. So 2009, the economy just busts, right? I mean, just absolutely falls apart. Direct sales is a $100 billion industry, by the way. It's not, and let me just make it very clear, if you are not educated on direct sales, go educate yourself. It was just featured in Wall Street Journal. USA Today is to be the business of the 21st century. It's a 125-year-old industry that does over $200 billion a year worldwide. It is not like some hokey-dokey, something in the basement. It is a massive, massive, massive industry that's made more millionaires on the face of the planet than any other industry. And ladies, 85% of all female millionaires come out of direct sales.
Woo, woo, woo!
So it's not a hokey-pokey little thing. It's a big industry. And direct sales in 2009 dropped 40%, almost half. That's like worse than the real estate industry. And any company that was high in anti-aging, really expensive products, there was people sitting around the dinner table saying, honey, I know you love your anti-aging juice that's supposed to make you prettier and hair thicker and your eyesight better, but we can't even keep our light bill on. So are we going to do this or get the lights, And the lights always stayed on. And companies were taking it. And unfortunately, Visalus was a high-end anti-aging company. And we were, just saw thousands of customers and distributors coming on board. And here's what we did as a company. We sat around a table, the founders and some of the top leaders, we sat around a table and we asked ourselves one question. Most companies were asking themselves, hey, how do we stop the bleeding? I know, let's come out with a new pill. We'll sell it to our database and we'll make a couple more extra $1 million. Here's what Visalus did. We sat around the table and we said, how do we grow in a down economy? How do we grow in a down economy? That's it. And what we want to do is we want to create a viral marketing message that we didn't have to send a stay-at-home mom or a guy that works that doesn't know how to sell and send them on a 4-week boot camp that costs $5,000 to teach them how to sell something, right? How many know those days are over? So we wanted to create something that was natural to talk about. It's very natural that if I lived here and I joined the gym, if I called Chris up and said, Chris, I just joined the gym, you should join with me and let's work out on Monday, right? That's not one of those weird conversations, right? I will probably get invited to Chris's next party with that conversation, right? But the conversations of me constantly calling Chris and asking him if he's up for the new deal and new product and all this stuff, he's probably not going to invite me to his party because he thinks I'm going to try to sell everybody, right? And what we did is we created a viral marketing message that anybody can talk about, and it's worked. Anybody can talk about a challenge. I was actually getting my hair cut the other day, and I decided to go really short, as you can see. And I was sitting there, and my hairdresser said, Matt, what do you do for a living? You always come up in this beautiful M5 BMW. You come in like on a Tuesday afternoon. I mean, what do you do for work? I said, and I looked around, and I noticed that, you know, there's people could probably lose some weight in the salon, and I said, I promote the #1 weight loss challenge in North America, right? And literally, I mean, you could have heard scissors drop. People are around my thing like, what is it, right? What is it? On the way here, I got some lunch. I sat at a Chili's bar, and I'm eating a lunch, and the girl next to me says, oh, where are you from? What do you do for a living? I said, promote the #1 weight loss challenge in America. She goes, I lose 10 pounds. I get on an airplane on the way here. Girl sitting next to me. She goes, what do you do for a living? I promote the #1 weight loss challenge in North America. I lose 15 pounds. It's the easiest conversation I've ever had in my entire life.